So I show you the Infratech. It's the 4,000 watt heater, dual element. It's the C series. This is the Motif, so it comes with the grill. So I just want to kind of show you that. That's really the only difference. I got the dual element so that I could switch between two elements on it, and then full power, half power. Show you what it looks like here in a box. So these are the brackets that hold it. Main heater, reflector. So the electrical goes. Quartz elements, heater elements do not come installed in here. There's some protectant to keep it from getting scratched. As you see, this is the reflector, and here's each of the quartz elements are in here. So I think you're not supposed to touch the middle part. What do these look like? This, let me get it. I think the ceramic's okay to touch. And then there's a little screw or a nut on here with a lock nut. So this is a dual element, so I got two of these. Motif series. Comes with the grill here that gets installed over top. So this is the regular C series with this grill. There's a couple different ones. Except the standard one or traditional, whatever it was called. So you see this will go into this goes into the face. Extraction from I won't put it in there, but it goes on one side and then goes in the other. It has a little curve in it. So let me install the quartz elements in there. I did the previous one and I found it was actually easier to do it. Or it seems like it's gonna be easier to do it before you actually put it up. So to show you, here are the brackets that go on. So this goes onto the wall and then this attaches to the back. And then there's two screws. So one is the swivel point, and then the smaller one is what controls, where you can control the angle. This is the middle one. Again, that smaller one goes outside here. So, and then on the back side of the quartz elements, give you a little wrench for those nuts. So it's a Phillips head to get these off. One thing I don't really understand, maybe I can look a bit more, why it's silver screws on this side and black ones on this side. This plate comes off, and this is where you take this protective film off. Those quartz elements, that ceramic part goes in here, and then this is where you have these the little loops that go on to the nut. There's a screw here that opens this hinge off. So once you take that screw off, then this hinge opens. This hinge, get the wires out. So you'll see when you look in the back into the junction box, there's two blacks and two reds that correspond with these two. If you're wiring together, you would just splice them together with one wire. Otherwise, you can do them separately. So it goes in and actually sets on that. What looks like the quartz. When I turn it on, I can see that this part is only like about an inch or two inside the part that actually heats. So this just goes to O-ring goes over the end, would then tie down onto the lock nut. It's kind of not the best. I think you just have to Let's do that end. And then the same thing under this end. But then as this comes down, it holds them in place. So you don't have to worry about it till you put this down. Make sure they're not getting pinched. The grill mentioned. So there's this the reflector is a little bit flexible here, and then there's the outer edge. So it goes in between reflector and the edge. This is another part that's a little not the easiest. It's now curved out when both sides are in there like that. That's it in a finished state. What I actually did was I took these black screws and swapped them out to make sure to show that they were all black on the outside. I'm not really sure why that is, but just be careful. There's a little rubber washer on there. There's a rubber or some neoprene or some kind of washer as well that keeps it tight. So you can see there's two blacks, two reds, just like you would expect to each of the elements. And then I didn't really like this grounding screw either, but that's what it is. So your ground wire could come in. So no neutral, just two hots. So this is what the brackets look like installed. You just have to kind of measure and then work on where it is to get your clearances correct. Clearance behind, clearance up, clearance in front. I have this open beam here, so I moved it down enough so that when it's swiveled, I get the full 6 inches clearance. And I believe it was 18 inches up to here. It's 9 feet this way by 12 feet this way. And so there's a wall only on one side and all the other sides are open, so it's almost a completely open area. You can see the heaters are running. Putting off pretty nice heat here. They cover off at about 30 degrees or so here. So directly under it, and then at about, I can feel it's about the midway point here, and I can feel on this side as well. So they cover up, and then same thing out to the edges here. So the heater timers are running, and you can see the way it comes in, the electricity comes in, runs to the timer, and so the timer has dual pull, single throw. So it's a switch, but it's on a timed switch. So once it's turned on, then it allows both of the 120 legs. So it gives 240 through. So that comes into the switch here, and it's divided. So there's a common 120 that goes through for the one leg, and then the other is divided or is then switched separately, and then goes out on this 3 circuit or 3 cable one. So this is turning off one of the elements on the left side, turning off element on the other side. Either one, it doesn't really matter. But again, it's independent of the timer turning on. So having to turn both these off, the timer would still be allowing electricity, but nothing would be coming through. It takes a little bit of while. Actually, you can see it. It's gone out now. It's really hard to tell. But if you look at the top one, it's glowing red. And then, again, it's hard to see with the reflection here. But hopefully you can see it there. The bottom element, it's reflecting, but it's off. So again, same thing on this other one. Let's see if I zoom in. I guess you can see it better with the lines, all the element or the coils in there where this is glowing, and the bottom one is turned off now. So that's how it's all set up, and then each one has its own breaker as well, running 30 amp. Really doesn't need a full 30 amp, but it was just over the limit because it runs 16 amps for the total. These are 4,000 watt heaters, and so it was just over the 80% it's a constant load. So it would end up being 21 amps, so just over. It's fine. Just ran 10 gauge to it everywhere.